never leaving, Greg. Contrary to the betrayal article, I was never leaving. I never said I was leaving. This is home, but you do have to continue to push. And my job running a program is to push and push and push until you can't push anymore. And if I didn't do that, I'd be cheating my players, I'd be cheating my staff, I'd be cheating the fan base, I'd be cheating everybody in the city, I'd be cheating the local businesses that feed off of us winning, and then they, sell more beer, right? I'd be cheating everybody. So my number one goal always is to do whatever I can to push the envelope for Arizona State football.
Rumors have been swirling about Kenny Dillingham leaving Arizona State to go to Michigan and take the head job up in Michigan. And this is really hard for me to see. It's really hard for me to see Kenny Dillingham leave Arizona State, a job that he's always wanted, a job that he's grown up wanted. I would be shocked. Now, with that said, multiple betting prediction sites, a lot of people with a lot of inside information. I've heard a lot of inside information. I've got a lot of texts about Kenny Dillingham possibly leaving here. Do you think he leaves to Arizona State? Stay tuned as Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick joins the show to break down the truth about this and his insight as to whether Kenny Dillingham will be leaving Arizona State for Michigan, as the rumors have fucking gone crazy. But if you guys are watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member. We are live here on this Saturday morning here on Bailey Price Media Live. And I can't thank you enough for tuning in here. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk some Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders and the Browns here. I got to debate that with Coach Fred. We're going to debate the best options for Michigan's coaching search, including whether that's Kenny Dillingham here. We're also going to talk a little bit NFL, break down the NFL slate for this week, talk Heisman candidates and more. So hit that like button, subscribe me. If you'd like to donate, hit that super chat button here as we're just getting started. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in my main man, Coach Leroy Frederick joins the show. Coach Fred, happy Saturday. How you doing, my man?
Same to you, Bailey. Doing great, baby. Can you hear me? Audio good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where you at right now?
Man, I'm in Atlanta. HBCU National Championship game is today. So I'm here, had a show last night, pregame show. Had a great time doing that, man. So just in the hotel kicking it with you before I head over.
No doubt. That's exciting, Coach. Let me ask you, I'm sure you've seen the rumors, Kenny Dillingham to Michigan. I never thought Kenny Dillingham is leaving. I still don't think he's leaving. I would be shocked if he's leaving. And I've heard all kinds of inside information. I'm getting all kinds of texts from people saying that he's gone. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I just don't see it. I call bullshit. Coach Fred, what do you hear about this? What are you hearing about this? What's your insight on this? And do you think Kenny Dillingham will leave Arizona State for the Michigan job?
Well, Bailey, what they say, where there's smoke, there's fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's smoke coming from somewhere. Now, I don't know if it's coming from him or not, but they say Michigan's got big bucks. Not that I think at this point, coach is worried about any money, but the brand itself may just be enough of a draw to get him out of Arizona. But for me, that'd be tough to leave Arizona, all that sunshine program he's built up, to head to Michigan right now at this point in time. That'd be a tough situation. Even though he'd walk in the door, possibly, if he keeps everybody, possibly preseason top 10. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons. I just don't know if he would do that, especially the work that he's put in to build that program up.
Yeah, I agree. And especially with this, the way the situation is, he's always wanted to be the head coach at Arizona State. Obviously grew up a Cardinals fan. He's an Arizona guy through and through. His family is there. I'm pretty sure he's next door neighbors to a lot of his family, and he's like his situation is pretty set down there. So that's why when I saw this and I saw that like people are predicting prediction markets and stuff that they really think Kenny Dillingham's leaving. And I'm like, I just don't think he'll ever leave Arizona State. Now, Coach Fred, I wanted to play this. Kenny had an interview with David Pollack, the Georgia Bulldogs legend here, former ESPN. He talked about his situation with Arizona State and how he relays this to his players. Take a listen to this.
To them when your name starts going out for other jobs, like, do you address that or do you just leave that alone? And because obviously it's not part of your daily regimen.
Yeah, if needed. Our guys know what I'm about. Our guys know I'm born and raised here. my next door neighbors, my sister, she has 3 kids. My little son, who's 3.5, hangs out with his cousins every single day. I just left dinner with my parents, who are 3 doors down from me. Our players know the dynamic in the situation I have here is special. I've recruited all these guys here. They know the situation. So some things are better left unsaid.
Coach, I mean, just from hearing that, and I've heard Kenny talk about his situation in Arizona State a lot over the years. I mean, if he leaves, what does that say about college football? Let's start there.
If he leaves, I mean, baby, we've already said the fabric is pretty much torn, of college football as we used to know it. Mm-hmm. I think if he leaves, man, that just puts an even bigger rip in that fabric. And after having this kind of interview, it would be really tough for him to go back on all that and just say, Michigan was right, my dream job, whatever. It'd be pretty tough to roll that interview back.
No, 100%. And I have a lot of respect for Kenny Dillingham. It's not something I don't see him just coming out and he said this for all these years and then just making a last minute decision like that. I would be personally shocked even now. I mean, everyone's predicting that it's a possibility he leaves. Personally, I don't see it. Those watching the chat, let us know what you think about this. Do you think Kenny Dillingham's gone? Do you think he's staying at Arizona State? Because I think personally, if Sam Leavitt doesn't get injured, they're definitely in competition to win the Big 12 again. No, there's no doubt about it. And I think that Kenny's job that he's done with developing quarterbacks over the years, he's done an unbelievable job, Coach. And I think that only continues at Arizona State. I get Michigan's a much bigger brand, name, and opportunity, but I think those little intangibles that he talks about when it comes to he's born and raised there, he's got his family there, his sisters there, etc. I think that goes a long way. What are your thoughts on all that?
I'm like you, man. After listening to that little piece right there, it sounds like a person that's really grounded, rooted where he is. So I can't see him leaving. Like I said, after putting that on wax, if he's done anything, I think this has gotten him a raise. So I wouldn't be surprised if come Monday we get reports that him and Arizona State have come and worked out an extension of some sort, some type of raise, to keep him there, keep it happy. So I'd be very shocked. Very shocked.
Yeah. And I'm seeing people in the chat talk about Klein, Sataki, Penn State, and whatever, how he leveraged it for more money, which, by the way, that's exactly what he did. Is that something you see Kenny Dillingham doing with this, where Michigan comes through, he just leverages it for more money? Because I just don't see him leaving. It's the same thing with Klein, Sataki, who's an alum of BYU. It would have really shocked me had he left. He's a BYU guy through and through. Do you think that's a possibility maybe?
I don't think that's something he has to do. I think that's something that the university and their people, their big money people, they're probably on the phone as we speak and putting together something to have that presented to him here shortly. So I don't think it's something he'd have to do. No,
it's totally fair. Totally fair. Well, now looking at the Michigan coaching search, Coach, where are you at with this? Because there's all kinds of names being thrown out there. Kalen DeBoer, who I don't see leaving Alabama. Lincoln Riley, I'm not going to say I couldn't see him leaving SC. That's a different question for me versus a lot of other people. Brian Kelly, that could work, but I just think he's more of he had a success at Notre Dame. It's possibly a success up there. But in terms of names replacing Sharon Moore, who do you like and why? The name I'll throw out there, and it's a name that I thought was going to leave and possibly be in contention for the Florida job, was Jedd Fisch. He's formerly there under Harbaugh. There's been a lot of rumors about him leaving UW. Talk about replacements for the Michigan job. Who are you thinking? Who do you like? And are any of these 3 names in your mind for that?
I think that the Jedd Fisch thing, I don't think that's going to catch traction because he's linked to Coach Harbaugh, right? And I think they're trying to get away from that being in the building because that's been nothing but problem after problem. So I think that's going to take him away. Brian Kelly, after that debacle with LSU and the legal stuff, I can't see them getting into that. But I'll throw you this name, and this name to me makes more sense. You tell me what you think. Dable, coach that just got fired from the Giants.
Brian Daboll? Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
An NFL guy, power guy, run the ball downhill guy, play action type guy, play defense. Now, it didn't work out that way in New York, but I think that's the style of coach that they want. I think Rich Rod has kind of taken it away from guys like Lincoln Riley and stuff like that, because that system's probably really, really tough come November-ish to run consistently there in Michigan with the weather and everything. So I think they want more of like a downhill type guy. So I would say him, to be honest with you. Now, who I would like to see, I would love to see Coach O there, but he's too much of a Louisianan.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if he wants to go up to the
there.
cold, knowing his history with the West Coast and then Baton Rouge. That's an interesting name, Coach. Let me ask you, going back to Daboll, what do you think he would really leave the NFL to go to a college job? Personally, part of me thinks he's going back to Buffalo and that he's going to work his way up there. Obviously, they have Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, but I don't know. I think there's a possibility that the wheels come undone in Buffalo this season in the NFL. But what are your thoughts on him, Brian Daboll, leaving the NFL? Do you think it's something that's a real possibility?
I think it's a real possibility, but we know once you're in the NFL, you're in the NFL. So, of course, he'd have a job next year if it was just a position coach somewhere. Because once you're in, right? But I think right now that he's out and Michigan, being Michigan, despite all this stuff that's going on around the program, I think he would definitely do it just because he could, springboard that just like Harbaugh right back to that whole deal. You know what I mean? So right back to the league. I think he could do it. I think that's something that they should really look into if they're listening. And I know they're listening to your podcast, listening to our show. Michigan, tap in with him, man. I think he'd be a great fit for you guys.
That could be a real. I mean, man, it all depends on if. It's hard for me seeing him leave the NFL, but I think it could be a good fit. Let me throw one more name at you, and this is a name that I've heard some people mention, but there's some context to this that I wanted to show you. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. John Gruden, Coach. So when John Gruden was coming out of high school, there was a publication talked about in Tampa how he wanted to eventually become the head coach at Michigan. Now I'm not putting any weight on this really. Gruden's working for Barstool Sports right now, but he's made several headlines talking about how he wants to come back and coach, how he said he'd love to coach in the SEC. He threw that out there. He's still in a lawsuit with the NFL from what I understand. What about John Gruden? Could you see that being a fit?
I mean, I know he said he wants to get back in. I know he said he would be very interested in a college program. I think Michigan is as close as you can get to when you're talking about the SEC, so to speak, style of play. I just don't know if his personality would work there. You know what I mean? I just don't know if he's maybe a little too strong for that right now. But they do need something in the way of positivity for their program. So, I mean, at this point, I think they got to kick all tires. They got to kick all tires.
For real. Turn over rocks here because,
quickly.
And certainly with all the negative publicity around Michigan right now, they're certainly going to have to turn over rocks. Going back to Jedd Fisch, I can see what you're talking about, them wanting to wipe hands clean of the Harbaugh era there, so to speak. I also, I mean, yeah, you might want to wipe your hands clean of it, but they did win a natty, so it's tough to say. Man, I don't know. I keep Jedd Fisch high on that list personally because I just think he's out of Washington. I don't see him staying there in the long term more than a year or two, or more than the next year or two at the most. So that's something to watch for sure. But Michigan coaching search is on fire, Coach Fred, and Kenny Dillingham. I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe we're dead wrong today, Coach. He leaves Arizona State. I just don't see it. He's a native to there. I would be shocked. Let's talk Heisman candidates. Or sorry, you were going to say something.
My guy that just retired from Utah,
Whittingham.
right?
Yeah. So, do you think he'd go back to coach though?
I mean, hey, we need you to bridge this thing over for us, right? Just for a little while, and we're gonna give you this this blank check. Just bridge us over, and we'll go from there. We just need you for a year, let another cycle come around, maybe 2 years, and go from there.
Seeing all kinds of stuff in the chat. They're saying Coach JB for Michigan. I don't know if they make all kinds of edits of him. Edub.
They
Weddle,
definitely not ready for him.
I will support EW Utah. Weddle's coaching his kid right now, so I just don't think he leaves until Gage graduates. But that's in a year or two, so that's who knows. From what I understand, Utah's already named their head coach. They've had in coaching waiting for a while. I think it's Morgan. God, blanking on his last name, Scallies or something like that. I can't remember his last name, but they promoted somebody from coaching waiting for Utah. In terms of Michigan, I'm looking at Jed Fish, but Kyle Whittingham, it's tough for me to see him coaching another year. I was shocked that he came back to Utah last year and coached another year. So that's where I'm at with Whittington. But Coach, Heisman Trophy goes down tonight. 4 finalists are up in New York, and we'll find out 7 p.m. Eastern who wins here. For me personally, Coach, I think it's either Fernando Mendoza or Diego Pavia, and for different reasons. I don't know. I think Fernando Mendoza is probably the better player, but I think what Pavia has done for the school is also certainly being taken into account. But Jeremiah Love, obviously an elite player. Part of me thinks he had a better season last year at times because he's a fucking dude. But great season. Obviously, Julian Sain obviously had a great season at Ohio State, getting the ball to Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I think the biggest snub of this is Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech linebacker, who's the captain of that fucking defense. They put him on defense. They put him on Wildcat quarterback, running touchdowns and shit. I think he got screwed out of this personally. I know, like, America voting, like the fan vote, all wanted him. Not saying that matters or anything, but I really think he got screwed out of this because we're talking about biggest impacts on the team. I would put Jacob Rodriguez in the top 4, probably over either Love or Sain. Coach, who's your Heisman and why? We'll find out tonight.
He was, but like you said, he didn't make it. I got a chance to watch that kid play. I wanted to see what the hype was about. I got a chance to see him 2 weeks in a row. Baller. And, I definitely thought that he would at least have been there. Maybe not have won it. Tough for a defensive guy, which is why they said they gave him touches offensively to score some touchdowns, and he did that. But, Mendoza is probably the one. But I think the splash, I think the feel-good story is Pavia. And it's just because the lightning in the bottle, just the splash. So I can see him getting it, even though Mendoza probably deserves it more. But when you're talking Vanderbilt, he'd be their first. I can definitely see him walking away with it.
And I think Vanderbilt got screwed out of this playoff. I'll be honest, dude. When I'm looking down, I'm like, man, they seem to have done everything right, and they got punished. And they moved down for beating Tennessee and Neyland. I think that's fucking insane. Like I mentioned, I think it probably goes to Pavia. Like just one popularity. It's the same thing with Travis last year. I think that gave him a little bit of bump as well. Also, what he's done for Vanderbilt, I mean, good Lord, the kid came from JUCO, worked his way up. Like, I think he deserves it, personally. I also think Fernando Mendoza, like, we're looking at prospects here. Long-term, Fernando Mendoza is going to be that guy. Like, I think he's got all the intangibles. But if we're talking Heisman, who I think is probably going to win is Pavia. Who I think should win is Mendoza or Jacob Rodriguez. That's where kind of I'm at with it. What do you think, Coach?
I'm with you on that. I think I think Mendoza is probably the guy, but I think Pavia's created the splash, the feel good about it. So, I mean, I could definitely see Mendoza getting it, but I think it's going to be Pavia.
I agree. We'll find out tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. About to go down here tonight, Coach. But before that, Army-Navy goes down, 3 p.m. Eastern, Coach. Any predictions for this? I'm rolling with Navy. Navy 6.5-point favorites, and I'm betting the under as a yearly tradition. Every year I bet the under in this game. I don't care what the total is. And, that's my thoughts on it. Give me Navy. Blake Horvath, I think, is the better quarterback. I think they're the better team, and ultimately I think they'll roll them. But it's going to be a hell of a game either way. Coach, what do you think?
I like Navy, man. I saw them roll Memphis up a couple weeks ago. They're playing pretty good ball right now, so I like them in this as well. But I'm kind of going the other way with you. I'm scared of that under because I just feel like, right when you think it's going there, somebody pops a fullback dive for 60-yard touchdown, and then there you go. There's the over. So I'm taking Army and the over. So I'm a little opposite of what you're saying on that deal.
I'm excited for the game either way. I personally, you might be right, Coach, with the total. I go with percentages. It's fucking like 60 or 70% to the under over the last how long? Like I roll with that, and I've had success
Analytics.
betting
I
the under
see
over
it.
the years.
Okay.
But I think Navy ultimately is the better team. I think they have the better quarterback, Horvath, and I'm rolling with them on the spread there. But we also have the LA Bowl, Coach, the last Gronk LA Bowl tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Washington, the Huskies, and Jed Fish technically hosts Spencer Danielson and Boise State, led by Maddox Madsen at quarterback. And the Huskies are 10-point favorites in this bowl game. Bowl games are tough to even try and predict here. We don't know who's playing, whatever. I think Damon Williams is still playing for UW, from what I understand, and I believe Madsen's playing for Boise, so at least they'll have the quarterbacks. But any thoughts on that, Coach, before we move into the NFL? We're about to have a big argument in the NFL, but what are your thoughts on that game tonight?
I'm like you, man. It'll be nice to, like I said, watch football, but until you see who actually rolls out there and then how long they actually play, it's going to be tough to bet any of those because, like you said, he may dress out, but he may pull a Cam Ward where he only plays so long, and then next thing you know, he's over there with a cap on. So, it'll be nice to see the football, but uh, I think Boise has more of the type of program where all of their kids will play and play the full game. So I'd have to go with them.
Yeah, I definitely lean. I think that's what I told Matt yesterday. I lean Boise plus 10. I think it's a lot of points where we don't really know who's going to show up, and it does seem like I'm inferring Boise State would have more of their players playing than not versus the Huskies and Jed Fish.
Right.
Knowing Spencer Danielson, that's probably the case. I'd lead Boise plus 10, and probably the total is 52.5. I'd lean over. There's probably going to be a lot of points in that game. So looking forward to that tonight. This is college football. The season's kind of come to a wrap, Coach Fred. Last weekend was kind of the last big weekend of college football where we could watch it all day and stuff like that with the conference championships. Now we got to enjoy Army, Navy, and whatnot. But, Coach, it's time. Let's go to the NFL here. We gotta talk Cleveland Browns here because I haven't really covered them too much in depth on this channel. I've talked about this with McChesney for the entire season. So, Coach, let me ask you this. Let's start with Shedeur Sanders. So, Kevin Stefanski named Shedeur Sanders the starter for the rest of the season. I think that's very obviously the right decision. I hope that they continue to build around him going forward. But what are your thoughts on that decision coming from Stefanski before we dive into that?
Did he really have a choice? I don't think anybody else was completely healthy. You know what I mean? So
Gabriel's healthy technically, Coach, but he's choosing to roll with Shedeur from what I understand.
Right. And again, as we've talked about this earlier, I think it just goes to what the clown show has been there. Just continuing to make it a media hype train, so to speak, for that franchise.
Yeah, that it's become for real.
And I don't know if Coach was backed into this and he had to do it, but it almost feels forced, Bailey.
Kind of feels forced. I mean, he doesn't have a choice though, Coach. What is he going to do? Not play him? He's clearly better than Gabriel at this point, and we've seen it. And I don't know. Do you think differently of that?
No, I'm with you. I laugh at it, when I listen to you guys in the morning and JB gets on it. And I mean, is he the best? No, but is he better than anybody in that room right now? Probably. So, it's one of those deals of where, again, I don't know what has happened. I don't know what has soured that relationship. And they can say what they want to say, but that relationship with him and the head coach there is not a normal head coach quarterback relationship. I don't care what you say, Bailey. That is not a working relationship for a quarterback and his head coach. I mean, you may say something different, but I think it's scarred for whatever reason between those two.
Now, what are your thoughts on Stefanski's future with the Browns? Do you think that he makes it past this season here? Because I'm torn on this. I've thought about it for a while. I thought he was gone, especially after the debacle, that 2-point play and the heat he's getting from that, and it's kind of his response to it. I thought was kind of odd. The more I think about it, I think it could be to Shador's detriment if they let him go. But what are your thoughts on Kevin Stefanski's future with the Browns? Do you think he makes it past this season?
Hey, I don't think he cares. I don't know. Maybe you get a different vibe from him. I don't get the vibe of a guy that really is into it. You know what I mean? I think he's so far over this deal to where I don't even think he cares, Bailey. Whether he's there or not. If he's there, he's going to continue to work. If he's not, oh well. But I don't see this franchise parting ways with him just because, and I'm kind of like you. I feel that one of them is going to have to leave, whether it be him or Sanders next season. One of them is going to have to leave. You got Deshaun Watson coming back for a lot of money. You basically invested way more in Dylan Gabriel. So one of those two, unless you can unload them, and nobody's going to touch Deshaun Watson. I don't care what you say, not for that money. So he's there. No. Yeah, he's there, right? So now what are you doing with Gabriel? Now what are you going to do with Sanders? Are you bringing somebody else in? So again, I think Stefanski is at the end of the rope for him, and he's just like, whatever you guys want to do, man, I'm gonna do it. Let's go. So I'd be very surprised if he's not there next year.
Okay. Here's my thoughts on that. So Deshaun Watson, going to Deshaun Watson before I dive into Stefanski, because I want to go into a little tangent here with you on Stefanski, because I have a gut feeling about this. I have a real gut feeling about this, and we'll see. But in terms of Deshaun Watson, I agree with you. They have to hold on to him, and the longer they hold on to him, I mean, if they cut him now, they're due. They got to pay him like $100 million or something like that. If they wait till I think June 1st post designation, it's like cut that in half or something like that. Now, I think it's actually to Shador's benefit if they keep him. Personally, I think it could be a benefit to have a mentor like that in the room. Especially, they seem to get along. What's it going to hurt? People are going to look at it optically and think I'm batshit crazy, but Deshaun has been there and played a lot of football and won at a high level, won a national championship, won a playoff game. So I'm just saying, I think it would be to Shador's benefit to keep Deshaun Watson. Now, Coach, I want to dive into something with you about this. Let's say the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski at the end of this season, like a lot of us think will happen. Who do you think is the best replacement for Kevin Stefanski? And I'm going to run through a couple of names with you, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Joe Brady, OC up in Buffalo. Mike McCarthy, former head coach of the Cowboys, Packers, longtime coach. Robert Saleh, whose name's been up for several jobs, reportedly was offered the Raiders job in the offseason and offered to be the heir to Pete Carroll once he retires. Cliff Kingsbury is another name I'll throw out there. Washington Commanders offensive coordinator, former Cardinals head coach, certainly is an offensive guru to say the least. Some might not like me saying that, but I think he knows what he's doing with quarterbacks at times. Coach, if Kevin Stefanski's fired, who is the best replacement for him and why, in your opinion?
I think it's got to be Saleh. And I think it's got to be him because he's dealt with the New York media. He is a defensive guy, and I think that's what they need in that facility right now is somebody that's dealt with the media, somebody that's strong with it, somebody that understands what that circus is right now. And I think that he steps in and he puts a lot of that to rest. And then he'll bring in a coordinator that'll be able to work with whoever is at the helm for the team as far as quarterback goes. But I think he's the best fit because of where he just came from.
I think he's going to be a head coach next season. I just don't know where. I heard the rumors about the Raiders, and I was shocked Pete Carroll didn't hire him. I mean, if they are, I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked because I personally don't. So Pete Carroll retained Patrick Graham as their defensive coordinator. And I don't know. I'll be honest. Their defense is – I don't know if it's personnel. I just don't think they have the players. But part of it is, in my opinion, schematics. Pete's going to hire somebody as the defensive coordinator, or he's going to take over the motherfucker himself. Robert Saleh is going to be a head coach next season. I just don't know where. I personally, for this job, I'm a big Cliff Kingsbury guy. I think that Shedeur needs somebody that can help him on offense specifically and somebody he can get along with. I don't know what it is with him and Stefanski. There's been all kinds of rumors. Mary Kay Cabot, who's been on this show before, reported that the reason why Shedeur has learned as quickly as he has is because of all the extra time Stefanski has spent with him in that office. So that's kind of an interesting tidbit from her. She's a reporter that I trust too. People called bullshit to this. She's been covering the Browns since Belichick was there, so I wouldn't question her journalistic integrity there. Let me throw one more name at you, Coach. And this is something that social media has certainly said. What about Dion? What about Coach Prime? Is there any shot? He just hired Brennan Marion, head coach of Sac State in the offseason, hired him as his OC, and I'm just going to assume head coach in waiting, personally, because I don't think Brennan Marion leaves the head job like for an OC unless he's told that eventually he's going to be the head guy. Any shot on this? Any shot on Coach Prime leaving CU to coach in the NFL for Shedeur? He was in attendance for Shedeur's performance against the Titans in the snow last week, and I, as a father, he was more than excited, as I'm sure he was, and he got to see Shedeur throw a touchdown. He was hype as hell. But Coach Fred, is there any possibility Prime leaves CU for Cleveland, in your opinion?
Nah. I think once he's done at CU, I think he goes back to doing what he's doing right there, traveling behind his son, and just being a media personality that he is. I see that more so than him being back in the coaching game, just because of the health thing. And then I think he really just wants to do that right there more so than deal with all the other stuff. And I could be completely wrong, but I just can't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I thought I thought this was his last season at Colorado in my gut for a while. Just because of all he's been through, the bladder cancer and whatnot, all his sacrifice. I thought it was his last season. I thought he was just going to go watch his son. We'll see. The Brennan Marion news kind of changes how I feel about this a lot, because I was really interested to see if there was going to be any real staff changes in the offseason for CU. He brings in Brennan Marion. I thought that's a home run hire. I'm a massive Brennan Marion fan. He's a JUCO product, working his way up. Obviously, pioneer of the go-go offense, which runs from the Gus Malzahn system. But I don't know. The Brennan Marion thing is kind of unsettling to me a little bit, and it puts it like, is that a possibility he leaves and goes coaches again? I personally think if he leaves, he's done. He's going to go retire, and he needs to take care of his health. But I've seen a lot of rumors on Twitter, a lot of different people saying a lot of different shit. So it's interesting to see whether that's a possibility, Coach, because NFL season ends here next 2 months, so stuff could be going down. If Stefanski's fired, I don't know. I'm not going to rule it out a possibility. I'll say that, Coach.
We'll see.
We'll see. Definitely. Coach, we got a 44-year-old Philip Rivers returning this weekend. He's about to take on the Seahawks. And, I'm hyped for this game for the Seahawks perspective, but I also am concerned that he could go up in there and dice up the Seahawks at 44 years old. Tom Brady came out in interviews saying that he could play at 48 years old, but the only reason he isn't is because he's the minority owner of the Raiders. What are your thoughts on this? What was your reaction to seeing the Colts and Steichen sign Philip Rivers? And it sounds like they're rolling with Philip Rivers this week, so be on the lookout for him playing.
I hit Smitty up immediately and was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's nobody else in the world that's younger, that's played quarterback in the NFL. There's nobody in the world that you could go get. You couldn't make a move for Jameis Winston. There's nobody else. And I'm an older guy, so I'm rooting for him, but I'm just like, this is insane, man. This is insane.
It's insane. But I'm like, Steichen knows something. I mean, you don't do this shit. And you're in the middle of about to make a playoff run. You don't do this shit unless you know something. You must be ready. They must have been communicating. It sounds like they've been communicating the whole season. From what I understand, the offense Philip Rivers was running for his kid in high school. Coaching his kid is very similar to Steichen's. Apparently, they talked a lot, and so.
But then he also, and I'm not saying he's a Hall of Fame guy, but he also resets that. And I think this was a year that he could have. That he would come up.
Pushes it out 5 years. Yeah, so it resets that. It also resets his health insurance with the NFL. He does have 10 kids and is a grandfather, so I will throw that out there as well. But I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't think he was a Hall of Famer. I just didn't. I think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, and that's kind of I've had debates with people about this for months over this. But
yeah, I heard y'all the other day talking about it.
yeah, me and McChesney, Smitty and McChesney. Smitty's dead wrong about that. Me and Matt are on 100% agreement about that. Now, let's say I guess we play hypothetical here. Let's say Philip Rivers goes in there and leads them in a playoff run. They win a game or two. Does that change anything for his Hall of Fame status? No, because unless he goes and wins the damn Super Bowl, I just don't know if that's really in the realm of possibility. I get people are publishing that, and it does reset his Hall of Fame clock. But I don't think he's a Hall of Famer per se.
I don't think he is, and I'm like you. I think he has to, from this point on, he has to go win the Super Bowl. And literally like put the team on his back and have one of those game-winning performances or something like that. But, man, this is a huge roll of the dice. And I get it. They don't have anybody else, so to speak. But, man, do it for the old guys, Philip. Let's go, baby. JB, get on that treadmill, man. Let's do this.
Yeah, do it for the old fellas, for real. So, Coach, the Colts are 13.5-point dogs traveling up to Seattle to take on the Seahawks at Lumen Field. Seattle is dealing with all kinds of rain and flooding, so it's probably going to be shitty-ass weather out there. The total's 42.5. Where you're leaning on this? Here's what I said on Matt's show yesterday. I said, if Philip Rivers comes out there and plays significant time for the Colts, I lean Colts plus 13.5. I'd buy it to 14. If he doesn't play, I think the Seahawks are going to kill the Colts. What are your thoughts on this?
Plays or don't play, I'm taking Seattle, and I'm going to take all of that, right?
Okay.
At home, right now, Seattle's defensive staff understands that it's got to take Jonathan Taylor out of the game plan completely and make him beat you in those elements. And I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying this is his first game back. It's going to be tough for them to ride his arm to a victory.
I'll tell you what, Leonard Williams and DeMarcus Lawrence and golly, I think Duron Reed's on that roster. So all the big D linemen on the Seahawks got to be thinking barbecue chicken right now. Like they're about to get after Philip Rivers, man. Like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. Chenna Nwosu, Boye Mafe, they're all gonna get after him.
Man, you talk about the looks he's about to see. We're about to get some corner blitzes. We're about to get some backers off the edge, safeties down the middle.
And Mike McDonald loves doing that. He's gonna blitz Witherspoon off the edge, or Kobe Bryant, or Love, or whatever. Yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting to see how Seattle's defense combats this. But like I mentioned, Phil, if Rivers is playing for the Colts a significant time over Riley Leonard, give me the Colts to cover the 14. If not, Colts, I think Seattle kills them. Either way, it's going to be a fun matchup, and it's going to be fun seeing Philip Rivers back in uniform for the Colts here. Good Lord, couldn't have predicted that at all. Coach, Todd Bowles, I don't know if he got a chance to catch Thursday Night Football, and the Buccaneers kind of collapse against the Falcons, so to speak. But Todd Bowles, I don't know if I think this is as animated as he'll ever get, had a expletive-ridden press conference after the game. Take a listen to this, Coach.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. You gotta fucking care enough where the shit hurts. It gotta fucking mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your fucking livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that shit. It was in the fucking excusable, man. There's no fucking answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the fucking mirror.
He ain't lying, though, Coach. I'll tell you, he ain't lying. I mean, the way they imploded against Atlanta, holy shit. Are the Buccaneers in trouble?
I love it. I think if they don't respond after this, they're definitely, they're teetering right now. They're teetering right now, man. They got Mike Evans back. He played a great game for his first game back, being that deep ball threat for Baker. Defensively, they've got to get some things answered. They're teetering right there, B, to where this could really go bad if they don't right the ship. They got Carolina twice, and someone else, but I know they have Carolina. I think maybe this week, someone in the middle, and then Carolina at the end.
They go to Carolina on the 21st here. The Panthers host the Saints this week. We'll dive into our picks for the weekend here in a sec, but I think the Panthers could lose to the Saints, actually, personally. I think that could make it really interesting in that division, especially with Shook playing as well as he is. But, I couldn't have seen the Bucs falling off like this the way they have. I don't know. That's division is tough, though. That's not a great division. They're still not out of it by any means. They just got to change. They got to tweak some things here. It's nice they got Mike Evans back. That little hit he got where he got high load basically or hit low and he fucking fell back. That shit scared me because he just broke his collarbone. I was like, ugh. That did not look. You see a hit, you're like, fuck. But let's dive into it. Let's dive into picks for the weekend here, Coach Fred, and we'll get you out of here. I can't thank you enough for joining. For all those watching here, all 660 on all platforms, pound that like button, subscribe, and come over to YouTube if you're not on it already. Let's start with this. Coach Shador, the Browns go to Chicago to take on Caleb Williams and his painted nails and the Bears. It's going to be a cold one. It's going to be a real cold one in Chicago, Coach. Apparently, it's going to be negative temperatures. It's going to be real goddamn cold. Personally, so let's start there. The Bears are 7.5-point favorites. The total is 38.5. I'll be honest. This is like a 13-7 ball game to me. I could see this being no points, just from a defensive. Myles Garrett's going to really get after it, and I think the Bears' defensive line is going to give Shador problems as well. What are your thoughts on this game? Any predictions?
I'm taking the Bears and the under. Taking the Bears and the under. I think the elements. Again, Cleveland's no Miami weather-wise, but Chicago's different. And they're at home, and they're actually playing pretty good ball right now. They're playing for something, trying to keep pace with Green Bay. So I definitely take Chicago and the under.
Yeah, I'm going Cleveland 7.5. I just don't think that in this type of – we'll see what it looks like on kickoff. I think the weather is going to be a real factor, and I think Cleveland's defense is going to keep them in this game. I don't know if they'll win, but 7.5 points in that type of situation I think is a lot. I'll take Cleveland plus 7.5, and definitely the under there. Let's move forward. Texans host the Cardinals. Texans 9.5-point favorites. Probably got the best defensive football. Will Anderson and them are going crazy. And Stingley, the total is 42.5. Man, I think the Texans blow out the Cardinals, Coach. I'll be honest, but this is kind of one of those games. Those teams aren't that far off in proximity, Houston to Arizona. So it's one of those games. What do you think about this one?
Man, everything in me wants to say the Texans, but they always have a game where it becomes a head scratcher. And like you said, they just came off that high in Kansas City. I can see a letdown coming, but I think Arizona's tapped out at this point. I'm going to take the Texans money line.
Here's my thoughts here. I think, I think Houston blows them out. I want to say it. Part of me in my gut says Brissett could fucking heat up all of a sudden. But he's a veteran, he has flashes where he plays real well. They gave the Colts a game earlier this year with Daniel Jones and Indy. Now, give me the Texans. I'll take the points. I'll take the under as well. This is an interesting one, Coach. The Raiders go to Philly to take on the Eagles. Well, the Raiders got Kenny Pickett starting at quarterback, and they're 12.5-point dogs. Totals 38.5. Again, weird line, 12.5. It's a lot of points for the Eagles. I lean, again, Raiders plus 12.5 here. Give me them. If Brock Bowers is playing, that's their whole offense. So give me the Raiders at least stay in it. 12.5. It's a lot, especially with the total that low. What do you think?
Man, the Raiders are horrible, man.
Oh, they're horrific, Coach. I know they're horrific. No, believe me. Pete Carroll's inherited fucking years of shit with that organization, but I think the Eagles are starting to fall apart. Like Roberto's saying here, Coach, the Eagles are starting to unwind here. I don't know. That's why I'm like, they'll probably win, but 12 points, that's not a team I want to lay 12.5 points with.
But this is a game that you get healthy on. You know what I mean? This is a game that you go and you roll them up, and then everybody's like, all is fine, and now we're back. We're again the repeat champs. We're here, and they, you simply just rolled up the Raiders. You were supposed to. So I
Torn.
gotta take the Eagles, and I'm just gonna tease it down to Eagles in 10.
Yeah, Eagles by 10. I'll take the Raiders plus 12.5. I'll take that, and I'll take the under as well. I think we're going to see a lot of slower games this weekend, especially with some weather situations. I don't know what it is there. I'm guessing snow or cold as shit probably. Let's move to the next one. Jets, Jags. Jags host the Jets in Jacksonville. 13.5-point favorites. The Jets are starting undrafted rookie quarterback Brady Cook, former Missouri quarterback. They will be starting him. I know Matt's actually pretty happy about that. He thinks they should have started this kid weeks ago.
I like the Jags, man, playing good ball. Lim Cohen's got those guys rolling. I like them, and I'm gonna take all those points.
Yeah, I lean with you there as well. I don't ever want to lay money on the Jets, but yeah, give me the Jags 13.5. Totals 41.5. Give me the over. I think the Jets could put up some points. We'll see. Here's a massive divisional matchup, Coach. Patriots host the Bills. Massive divisional matchup. The Patriots already beat the Bills in Buffalo, and now they host them in Foxborough. It's a pick 'em essentially. 1.5-point dogs. The Patriots are. Give me the Bills money line here. I think the Bills need this game. Can't afford to lose it.
I'm with you. That was going to be my deal. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Short and sweet. I agree. But I will say Vrabel's done a hell of a job. The Patriots, Drake May's playing out of his mind. Now another divisional matchup. We got all kinds of divisional matchups today, Coach. Ravens go to Cincy, take on the Bengals and Burrow. Burrow had a weird, cynical, dark, depressing press conference this week that was odd to me, but I don't put too much weight into that. The Ravens, like the Eagles, I think that's a team that's falling apart here. Give me the Bengals money line to take out the Ravens.
Ooh.
I think you're going to start hearing Harbaugh fired chants here if they lose this weekend, Coach.
I like the Ravens because, again, just like the Bills, they've got to have it.
Yeah, they do have to have it. I can't.
They got to have it. And I got to think that Harbaugh's going to have the defense ready to rock, and Lamar's going to play good ball. They're going to play, really good. Like you said, I saw that Joe Burrow deal. That's another team that I think is just waiting to fall apart. And the Ravens can actually help them go ahead and finish falling apart. So, again, I got to take the Ravens. The same thing with Buffalo. They've got to have this to stay pace and to get into the postseason.
Yeah, they do. I gotta have it, but I don't know if they will get it. At least Cincy here. At least Cincy here. The 2.5 with the Ravens seems kind of like a pick 'em. So we'll see though. Let's Chargers go to the Chiefs' Queendom and go to Arrowhead Stadium, take on Mahomes. 5.5-point dogs they are on the road. Coach, what are you thinking about this? Do you think the Chiefs got this, or the Chargers going to go in there and take them out?
I think the Chargers are playing really good. I think they're feeling really good about themselves after that Monday night game. This is the chance for them to go ahead and put KC up out of there, man. So yeah, I'm definitely with that. I gotta go Chargers. And give me the points. Chargers and give me the points.
Ooh. Yeah. I lean Chargers, but I think the Queendom blows them out here. I think this is a must have here. And this is kind of like a get yourself right type of game for me with the Queendom. If they start losing again, it's like Baltimore. It's going to start getting really, really ugly there. And they're going to – the focus is not going to be on the field, bro. I'll be honest. It's going to be – is Kelsey retiring? Is it going to be all this? Because that's kind of all I'm hearing is rumblings about that. Commanders, Giants, worst game of the week in my opinion. 3-10 Commanders taking on 2-11 Giants. Giants 2.5-point favorites.
We got to have this one. We got to have this one. If we don't
give
get this
me Fred's Commanders. I don't know.
We gotta
what
have
do you
this.
think?
We got to have this one.
Who's starting for a quarterback? Is it Mariota or is it Daniels? Because I thought Daniels got hurt again.
Mariota.
Yeah,
we
give me
gotta
the
have
Commanders.
this.
Give me the Commanders. They have to have it. Holy moly. We talked Seahawks, Colts. So let's move to this game. Broncos host the Packers. Mile High Stadium, 2.5-point dogs. The Broncos are at home. Give me the Packers minus 2.5. I think the Packers go in there and take out the Broncos at Mile High. I think they're going to run the football. I think Jordan Love's playing some good football. Give me the Packers and the under 42.5 in that game. Coach, what do you got?
I'm rolling with you. The weather's not going to be a factor to them. Maybe the only thing is altitude, but it's an NFL team. They'll have a whole bunch of oxygen tanks, so they'll be fine. And they're playing really good at this point right now. So I'm going to roll with you on this one.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Packers. Saints, this is my upset pick of the week. I got the Saints money line upset over the Panthers. The Saints host the Panthers in New Orleans. Tyler Shook is starting at quarterback, coming off a massive victory against the Buccaneers. Coach, give me the Saints at home in this one. That's my pick of the week here, upset pick of the week here. You guys can go bet it, do whatever you want, but my upset pick of the week, Saints over Panthers. What do you got?
Man, I can see this. And I'm
shit.
like you.
Shout out to Bundy. C-Note Saturday. Let's roll. Appreciate you, Mike Bundy. God damn. Starting off the Saturday right. Appreciate you, Mike Bundy. Keep going, Coach. My bad.
No, you're good, baby. It's I gotta believe Carolina feels good about themselves. They're in first. They got a chance to do something they haven't done in a long time. I hope they don't go there and have a letdown. So I gotta have them. I gotta take them winning that thing for real. So I'm gonna take Carolina on the road.
Are you a believer in Bryce Young?
I'm gonna believe in his supporting cast, man. They're doing just enough defensively to keep him in there. So I got to go with what they're doing.
I'm gonna ride with the Tyler Shook momentum. I am. It's a division game. It's going. This is gonna be a tough one. Give me the Saints at home. I think it's gonna be an upset pick. This is when I looked at the schedule this week. I'm like, boy, that 2.5 with the Panthers sure looks fucking easy. Like I'm telling you, give me the Saints. Upset pick of the week. Rolling with Shook. Run the football. Go ahead.
You might have been right had the Bucs not lost and put Carolina in that thing. So I think by the Bucs losing and Carolina getting where they are in first, I think the mindset may have changed to where they're going to come in there focused, and the game plan may have changed as well. Hey, we're not going to put this all on our QB. Let's go on and lean somewhere and make sure that, hey, we give ourselves a chance to win this thing in the end, or give New Orleans a chance to give us the game at the end.
Yeah. I'm rolling with momentum. I think the Saints have a little bit of momentum. They've been kind of looking for it. Tyler Shook really impressed me last week. I'm like, I didn't see that. Where is this with this kid? Like, good Lord, he's making plays and stuff like that. So I'm rolling with the momentum. Give me the Saints. Let's move forward here. We got 3 more games, and we'll go Monday night rapid fire. Lions, Rams. Rams 6-point dogs at home. Give me the Rams to blow out the Lions. I'm rolling with the Rams. Anytime Matthew Stafford faces the Lions, I'm taking Matthew Stafford. What do you think, Coach? Rams.
Got to have it.
Yeah, got to have this. And I just think the Lions are super. I mean, their secondary is decimated. I mean, the injuries they've had in the secondary are decimated. Stafford's going to carve up this defense. So I'll give me the Rams by a lot of points. Coach, Titans, Cam Ward. I've been rooting for this team all year. This is Tennessee's NFL team. Shout out to Cam Ward. Long season, 2-11, but they got a victory last week. They go to San Fran to take on the Niners. 9-4 Niners. Niners are 12.5-point favorites. I mean, I'll just give me the Niners with the points. That's all I'll say there. Coach, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners and the points. At home, got to take it.
Yeah, I think it's a given. That's a blowout. J.J. McCarthy 9, as they call him as a alter ego. Sunday Night Football, they go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. 6-1 Cowboys, 5.5-point favorites. The Cowboys are at home. Totals 48.5. Coach, who you got and why? I like the over in this. I think there's going to be a shit ton of points in this game. As a turn aside, I lean Vikings 5.5.
I like the Vikings. They can score. The Cowboys can score. I think the Vikings have a little bit better D line up front. So I like the fact that 9 will go on the road and play football, and they got some guys. I like them, and this will end the playoff hopes for the Cowboys, just like the Chiefs' playoff hopes will be ended this week as well.
Wow. Damn, coach.
Yeah,
There's a lot of line this week, coach. Yeah, give me the Vikings 5.5. I think that's too many points. I don't know if I still think the Cowboys get it done. There's something telling me they're gonna slip in the playoffs somehow. Total's 48.5. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I think the Cowboys probably win on like a game-winning field goal or something like that. Monday Night Football, coach. You see what happened to TJ Watt? They punctured his lung dry needling.
Yeah, that's what I want to see more on that, because that's down the lines of like what happened with
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
but it's a little bit differently because I don't know if Tyrod's was a dry needling or something different. But from what I read from doctors, coach, he could be out for a couple weeks. Like, this is a real serious thing here. I mean, I think a lot of people are like acting like he can come back like next week. Like, he's gonna miss a couple weeks from what I'm hearing.
you talking about your lungs, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah, a hole in your lung, bro. Like, like that just, I feel for him a little bit. Like, Anyway, coach, the Steelers are 3-point favorites at home against the Dolphins. Give me the Steelers to kill the Dolphins. I'm not putting money on the Miami Dolphins. This is a team I thought would go 0-16. They've managed to actually play decent football recently, but I think the Steelers need this one. Give me the Steelers with the points. I think they blow out the Dolphins. Monday Night Football. Coach, what do you got?
I got to go with you. I just think they're the better team. And again, like you said, and we've said about a couple teams, they definitely got to have it. And I hate to say it, but I think they're starting to play a little bit better offensively in their pass game. And that could be scary if they get that right.
Yeah, the weapons they got. Well, I mean, Metcalf, if Aaron can get the ball out, and you got fucking Mount Washington, a big-ass tight end. He's 315. They're throwing him routes, and he's a freak, by the way. He's a great player. I remember him in high school. Man, unbelievable. That's going to be a good game. Give me the Steelers, though. I think the Steelers kill the Dolphins Monday night. Going to be a good one. Man, Coach, what was your reaction before we get you out of here? I don't know if we talked about the college football playoff rankings. What was your reaction to seeing the playoff rankings, how that all played out and stuff? And, here, give me pull up the bracket here in a sec. What are your thoughts, though?
I was kind of like you, man. I was really surprised that that Vandy didn't get in. I thought that they would get in. I really thought that Alabama would be out.
Yeah, that one's kind of puzzling to me a little bit. But also, I understand their logic on it, I guess. But I think Vanderbilt got fucked. I'll be honest. They got fucked in this whole deal. Because I don't understand how you win and you move down. They're the only team that got moved down to win.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. The other part that I thought the committee could have done, and please excuse the Florida State bias here, but you have several teams that lost their head coaches, right? And the committee said that that's one of the stipulations, as well as when you go back to the Florida State thing with the quarterback, which is why they weren't put in. You had 3 teams that you had the opportunity to stand on what you have in that contract, to where you could have gotten a Vanderbilt in, to where you could have gotten a BYU in, because those teams don't have coaches. You know what I mean? And 2 of them are the group of 5. Ole Miss may have been a reach, but you could have definitely moved them down with the way that whole thing went. We all know Lane called plays, not Charlie Weiss Jr. Lane called those plays. So they're going to be different, regardless if he was in the building
I think
or not.
Ole Miss on upset alert against Tulane. Like, I think Tulane is going to give him a game. I think JMU is about to get killed. I think Oregon's a way better team, and then Oregon's going to lose to Tech, by the way. But anyway, finish what you were saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad.
No, that's my point. Like, you just made that with the Tulane. Ole Miss is going to be completely different without Lane Kiffin calling plays. And again, I don't care if Charlie was in the building, the mindset is not going to be the same. Even though he was around him, he was with him, game plan and things like that, the mindset's not going to be the same. And just so happened, Tulane's played them before, and this is not a matchup that they're scared of, unlike JMU going out there to Oregon. That's going to be completely different for them. So, excuse me. So I feel like the committee could have stood on what you have in the fine print and moved them down and put 2 teams in that were very deserving as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the logic on all this, but I mean, it is what it is. They put Miami up over Notre Dame. The way they did that was certainly odd. Now you hear, Notre Dame's AD sounding off at everybody. I'll be honest. This all is solved if the ACC would fix their fucking conference championship rules. Miami should have been playing in the fucking championship. You can't tell me Duke should be playing in the goddamn championship with 5 losses. What do you think about that? The ACC conference rules in general and how the seeding works and whatnot? Because I don't think this happens if they're different. Personally, I don't know.
Well, if Miami doesn't go out and lose to SMU, right, we don't have this issue.
Also true.
And I think, if we start to tear up this rule for that scenario, for that, and then it doesn't really even matter. Why even have divisions if you're not? I mean, at the end of the day, just kill the divisions, and everybody plays everybody. Who doesn't play, may slip through, and then that's going to be an issue. So I don't have a problem with that part. Miami just can't have those stumbles that they have from year to year, losing games that they shouldn't lose. What's going to be even worse if they come out here and lose the first round, and everybody's going to be like, oh, y'all did all that, and then this is what you did. You came out and laid an egg, which I don't think they'll do.
Coach. Oh, that's a good Texas A&M team, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I will say Marcel Reed's coming back next year and whatever, but that's going to be a hell of a game. Trey Zoon, I don't know if you saw Texas A&M offensive lineman called out Ruben Bain, the Miami star defensive lineman. It's like, I'm not worried about it. He's not going to be a threat. But I'm like, okay, Trey. And Trey's a product. He's a product of Big Matt, 6-year academy. He's a state of Colorado kid. Colorado didn't want him. Beats me. He's a first-round fucking pick now. But, that's going to be a hell of a game, Coach, I'll tell you. Before we get you out of here, dark horse on the playoff?
I don't know if you can
call
predict
the winner. I think Texas Tech is going to be somebody that's going to surprise people in this playoff.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you can call them a dark horse, but I've watched them play a couple weeks. I really like them. I like what they do. Now they've paid a lot of money for that roster, so I don't know if you can call them a dark horse. But I really like the state of Texas this year, man. It's crazy. I think them or Texas A&M could wind up in that championship game.
I think it's I want to say it's A&M, but something tells me Miami will figure out a way to win that one. Tech, I'm a big Joey McGuire fan. I think he's done a hell of a job. I guess it's a transfer portal heavy roster, but he was a long time high school head coach in the state of Texas, worked his way up. If you look at that roster, there's still a lot of kids from that state there. I'm excited to see how they do defensively. I think the one thing that sets them over the top is their defense. Texas Tech's always been known as an offensive school, but goddamn, they play defense with Jacob Rodriguez, like you mentioned, at middle linebacker. So, man, it's going to be a hell of a playoff. Can't wait to break it down next week with you, Coach Fred. But I appreciate you, Coach. I hope you enjoy the HBCU Natty and stuff like that. And you doing a Common Man podcast this week? Or you said you were live? You said you were live yesterday or something, right?
Last night, yep. We did the post game show. So next week we'll do a the recap and put a bow on this thing and get off into the rest of the FCS playoffs and this playoff bracket, man, and see if we can't come up with some stuff for content through Valentine's Day.
Hey, yes, sir. Yeah, Coach, give me a call on that. I'd love to help you out. But, man, all you guys watching, all you guys on all platforms, go check out Coach Fred on the Common Man podcast. He does a hell of a job here. Go subscribe. Go get him to 1,000. He's right there. He needs like fucking 2 more subscribers. Go get him to 1,000. Get him over the hump. And, man, Coach, I can't thank you enough, man. We'll love to have you back on next week. I'll reach out to you, and I hope you have a great weekend, man.
All right, appreciate it, B. You do the same, man. Safe travels.
Yes, sir. You too, man. Shout out to Alcorn State, former Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick for joining the show here. Can't thank him enough for joining and giving his insight on all things NFL, college football, and more here. Will Kenny Dillingham leave to Michigan? I mean, nothing has changed as far as I can see. I hear a lot of rumors here. I've reached out to a lot of people, gotten a lot of texts and different things. I'll leave it at this. I don't think he's going nowhere. I think this is all fucking noise, personally. But if he did leave, I would still be a Kenny Dillingham fan. It wouldn't really change much. This is the nature of the business. With that said, I think he's a homegrown cat, Arizona native. I think he stays right there in Tempe and coaches the Sun Devils going into next season. Let me know your thoughts on whether Kenny Dillingham will stay at Arizona State or go to Michigan in the comment section below. But to all those watching, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys rocking with me on this fine Saturday morning. I know I've been all over the place, barely done shows the last month or so. I took over Salisbury's show, so I've been kind of focusing on that. But coming next week here, we're going to be full go with this. I'll be up in Seattle for the next few weeks, so if you ever run into me, come say hi, whatever. But I'll be up in Seattle the next few weeks watching the Seahawks as they whoop some ass here against the Colts and Phillip Rivers this weekend. If you guys are watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. The Bailey Price Media Army has been active. Shout out to Mike Bundy and everybody else who's donating, Lou Vega and everybody else, Roberto, everybody in the chat. I can't thank you enough for the support. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a great weekend of football ahead. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you guys next week, probably live here on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 12 p.m. Pacific here on Bailey Price Media Live. I hope you guys enjoy your week. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the weekend of football. Bet the under, Army-Navy game. See you guys Wednesday. Peace.